Welcome to the interview on France 24. Earlier this month, Greece took over the rotating presidency of the European Union from Lithuania. While some questioned the ability of the debt-ridden country to preside over Europe, Greek officials want to use this opportunity to repair their reputation and restore their country's credibility on the European scene. I'm joined here in Paris by Greece's Foreign Affairs Minister, Evangelos Venizelos. Welcome to the interview on France 24.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Now, Greece, after huge sacrifices, is able to say that it's leaving behind the crisis. I'm not saying this. That's what Greece's Prime Minister Antonis Samaras recently declared. Your government forecasts that the Greek economy will grow by 0.6% this year, but the OECD predicts another year of recession. So, who is right?
This is a very good question. After 6 years of recession, now we are for the first time in the position to show toward our partners the famous primary surplus of our budget. This is a very positive indication, not only for the fiscal adjustment, but also for the new situation of the Greek real economy. The critical point, it's not only the fiscal situation, but also the volume of our economy and also the capacity of our society to organize the future after the crisis. It's very, very important to break this endless discussion about our capacity, about our willingness, because now we have numbers to show. This primary surplus is the first point toward the verification of the viability of our public debt, and the verification of the viability, the sustainability of the Greek public debt is the precondition for the organization of the next step toward the markets.
What is the next step? Because you know the view of a number of economists. They say that despite this small surplus, Greece won't make it without a haircut. You disagree with this, but then let me ask you, how will Greece manage to pay back its debt?
I was the Greek Minister of Finance during this unique operation of the so-called PSI, the private sector involvement. The biggest, historically speaking, haircut of public debt, but of the private part of this public debt. The public debt held by private entities. The other phase of this very big and historical operation is the radical reconstruction of the Greek public debt. Our debt, it's not only a ratio with reference to our GDP, but also a very concrete relation between our possibility to pay the cost for the annual service and the reaction of the market.
And can you manage without?
Yes,
can you manage
of course,
without
because
a new haircut?
The Greek public debt is a Greek debt with a very friendly duration. We talk about a public debt for 30 years. We have an excellent average of interest rates. We have a very important grace period. We have excellent maturities. And first of all, we have a very low now annual servicing cost of our debt. In terms of net present value, the Greek public debt is more sustainable than other debts in other countries of our European Union. This is the approach and the proposal, not of the Greek government, but of Mr. Klaus Renklin, the leader, the managing director of the European Stability Mechanism, who knows very well the situation and also the technical capability of our country to verify and also to guarantee the viability of our debt.
Nevertheless, you recently declared that it poses a problem of democracy and legitimacy to have the IMF at the heart of the Eurozone as part of the troika. Did you mean then...
This is a problem. This is a problem not only for Greece.
Do you mean that the plan, the bailout package, has been undemocratic?
No, not at all. We fully respect our institutional partners, the European Union, the other member states of the Eurozone, but the participation of the IMF as institutional factor in the different European procedure is something new. It's an indication against the capability of the European Commission to act, and also the Troika not as interinstitutional entity, but as political representative of the European governments, must present some reports not only before the government but also before the parliaments, because according to the rules,
the
institutional rules of our European parliamentarian tradition, the parliament is always the ultimum institution, the institution with the necessary democratic legitimacy.
For the checks and balances, the European Parliament.
But we respect our joint efforts with the Troika, with the principles of the Troika, because we talk now 4 years after the beginning of our historical effort to overpass the crisis. Now we are in a totally different situation.
Now, you recently declared to a German paper that Germany should show more restraint, and I'm quoting, respect Europe's diversity and the right to other solutions. Is it the case that some Greek people feel that they've been sort of bullied by Germany?
We have excellent bilateral relationships with the German government, with the German political system. We understand very well how important is the German leading role for the future of Europe and also for the European integration and the existence of our monetary union. But we must also take into consideration the social situation, the democratic problem. It's not possible for the new European generation to accept that Europe as a concept is only the austerity policy and the unemployment. It's absolutely important to talk between political partners, not politically, always on the very concrete basis of the numbers, but with the necessary capability.
And that's where Germany failed to show more
take
solidarity.
Into consideration the other dimensions of the situation, the social dimension, the democratic dimension, and also the situation of the real economy, because the national economy, the European economy, it's not only the financial sector. We must take into consideration the so-called real economy, the enterprises, the real ordinary people.
You mentioned the social cost of the crisis. It's no secret that Syriza, a far-left party, and Golden Dawn, a neo-Nazi party, are poised...
This is the political and historical cost of the crisis.
But they're expected to do very well at the upcoming European elections. How worried are you as the leader of PASOK, the Socialist Party?
The European elections everywhere, not only Greece, is a secondary electoral procedure. We organize simultaneously not only the European elections, but also local and regional elections. But without doubt, it's absolutely important to convince the Greek public opinion, our electoral body, that this unique national project has a new chapter for the future. This is something very, very vital and important for us.
And that's probably where the Greek presidency of the European Union can help you, can help your government. We know that growth and unemployment stand very high on your priorities list. What do you want to do about this?
Growth, job creation, the restoration and the reestablishment of the social dimension of the European Union are some obvious pan-European priorities.
But concretely, where can the Greek presidency make a difference?
We must make the distinction between the European priorities of the Greek presidencies and the national priorities of our government and also of our nation. For us, the European priorities is to present, first of all, a new European narrative for the future, a common European narrative, more attractive. On the national level, the obvious priorities is to organize the national life after the crisis. And the first step is the finalization and the official verification of the fiscal adjustment and also of the sustainability of the public debt. But the real problem is to reorganize the so-called national hope for the future. This is the most important point for us.
You've earmarked 50 million euros for what's been called a Spartan presidency. Do you have the resources, the financial resources, to make this happen?
Yes, of course. It's our obligation to organize the presidency. On the other hand, for a country in crisis, it's mandatory to organize the presidency with a very practical and result-oriented manner.
Evangelos Venizelos, thank you very much for talking to us. I remind our viewers that you are the Foreign
Affairs Minister. Thank you very much
for
your invitation.
Minister of Greece. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this edition of The Interview on France 24. Goodbye.